This is ODAT Chat, your instant connection to recovery and community, one day at a time. This podcast may contain strong language, sexual content, and spiritual truth. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi friends, welcome to another episode of the ODAT Chat podcast. In case you're new here, my name is Arlena and I'll be your host. This is a podcast where my guests share their stories of alcoholism and addiction and their journey to recovery. So I have a very serious and important question for you. Have you worked the steps? Would you like to work the steps? What if I said you could work the steps with me on the show anonymously? I'm looking for a few brave souls who are willing to volunteer so that others may benefit from your example. If you're interested, just shoot me an email saying I'm in to podcastvolunteer@gmail.com. So today's episode is with podcast host and author of A Sober Girl's Guide, How to Save Your Own Damn Life, Jessica Jeboult. You can find her on the interwebs at asobergirlsguide.com. You can find her on the podcast with the same name, and you can actually follow her on Instagram at A Sober Girl's Guide. So we get into her story. We go over her family of origin, struggles with her father. We talk about her fabulous traveling DJ gig and how she got into recovery. What's really interesting, though, is we get into her post that caused a little bit of controversy, a little bit of a shitstorm, if you will. She took a stand on abortion, so we had to go there. We talked about it a little bit, and I'll tell you, I'm actually proud of her for her courage, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to give her a chance to really provide additional context to her post. So I really enjoyed my conversation with her. She is amazing. And with that, please enjoy this episode with Jessica. Well, Jessica, thank you so much for joining me on the ODAT Chat podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
I am too, especially because our little pre-recording chat was so awesome. We have some pretty hot topics in our back pockets.
Yeah, we got some stuff going on.
Yeah, we're going to blow it up. I am so excited to talk about this. And it's really, should we just talk about first here, let's do this. So I wanted to introduce you to my audience, Jessica Jeboult. So you're the founder of A Sober Girl's Guide, which includes a blog, a podcast. Your social media is on point. Your Instagram is amazing. And you do some coaching, but you're also an author. And you have this book, Save Your Own Damn Life. Oh
yeah. Save your own damn life.
That is so cool.
Yeah. So those are all the stuff that I do. I didn't really mean to start doing all this stuff. I never in a million friggin' years thought I would be a sober girl. I was a DJ for over 10 years.
Oh my God.
So yeah, kind of different.
Wow.
Like I was a big club traveling DJ girl.
That is amazing.
Definitely not a sober girl. But God damn it, I tried for over 10 years.
Wow.
To kind of get a grip on sobriety and find the value actually of sobriety and what it could do for me, as opposed to, I always kept looking at, being sober as like, oh, I can't do this, I can't drink, or I'm not allowed to, like coming from it like
total
a gross
Debbie
baby
Downer.
Yeah, like total gross negative Nancy little baby point of view, and that's what I got. That's what I got out of life.
Yeah, that's the main misconception I think about sobriety, is that it's not going to be fun anymore.
Yes.
We have like this artificial way of, quote, having fun while poisoning our bodies and making horrible decisions and putting ourselves and others in jeopardy. And that's done.
Freaking horrible decisions. Yeah. And I always thought like, it wasn't so bad because I didn't go to jail. I didn't get a DUI. I didn't kill anyone. But meanwhile, I was a mess. Like when I run into people now, like 2 years of being like, over 2 years now of being like stone cold sober, like all the way. People are like, oh, like, thank God. I'm like, you couldn't have told me that 10 years ago? Like, Jesus.
Yeah, it's so funny how people don't say anything until afterwards, right?
Yeah, it's
And
like
you're
a horrible relationship. Like, oh, good. I'm so glad you left him. He sucked. I'm like, what?
This whole time? I
Yeah,
mean,
like, thanks, Carol.
thanks, Karen. Not even like a mild, like, I am concerned for you.
Yeah.
You know, they just wait till it all blows up.
Yeah, totally.
Oh my
But I
goodness.
mean, like, you know, cool. Now I made the right decision.
Now you're on the right path.
Yeah, made the right choice.
That's
for sure.
awesome. So typically, how I start the podcast is and I'm always fascinated by people's, you know, family of origin stories, because I feel like that sort of sets the stage, right?
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of, you know, childhood trauma that sort of determines how we see ourselves, and how we see ourselves as how we live in the world, right? And so I thought maybe we could start a little bit with, you know, maybe tell me what you were like as a little girl and where you grew up, and a little bit about your family.
Yeah, for sure. So I grew up in Vancouver, Canada. I am Canadian, so you might hear some abouts here and there.
Yeah.
Yes. So I am the oldest child. I am the only girl. I have 2 younger brothers. I grew up, my mom and dad are divorced, thank God. My dad was like rough. He was very verbally abusive, physically abusive.
Oh, really?
Like, we literally would refer to him as Hitler.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. So I just grew up like just not liking my dad at all. He was so cold and just so mean, and I just didn't get it. Like, I just didn't get why he was so mean and angry, and it was just all the time. So my mom was the complete opposite. She's like so warm, so loving, so fun, and ended up being like a friend. So that's where I was at. I was kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. You know, I had this dad who was very mean and very cold, and then I had, on the other hand, my mom who was like my friend. You know, like my girlfriend.
Not a parent.
Right. So I, being the oldest, kind of took control. I stepped up, and I was like, you know, everyone would be watching TV, and I would be like in the dining room doing my homework, not because anyone told me, but because like I learned how to govern myself at a very young age. Wow. Because I just assumed the rule. I assumed the position.
Yeah. Was your dad an alcoholic or a drinker at all? Or?
No. He actually.
What is his deal?
He thought that drinking and drugs were just absolutely horrible.
All right.
Like that you were like a bum, or like a homeless person, or just like
a degenerate.
Yeah, a degenerate if you were involved in like smoking pot or like getting drunk. Like, it was just yeah, it was like actually kind of funny. But now he is like a total wino, even though he won't admit it. But yeah.
Interesting. So I'm just so curious about your dad. Why was he like that? Did you ever find out if he was like abused as a child, or did something happen? Or?
I think it's because of his dad. Like, basically, I mean, my aunt and my uncle are the most kind, warm, loving people. And they would say, even growing up, like, my dad's name is Barry, that they would be afraid of him, even growing up.
Angry.
Always very angry, very, very violent. Like, you could tell, like, if you disagreed with him or just contradicted whatever he would say, he would literally blow up. Wow. It was like a train was coming for you and you could not stop it. All you could do was get off the tracks, just get out of the way. Wow. And he was brutal. And even as a kid, like, even growing up, my uncle and my aunt told me, I mean, this is also like years later, like, we're adults now, so they felt, you know, like that I would understand it. Like, you know, having these conversations. I think when we're younger, we don't realize what's going on and we're just like, what? Why are you acting like that?
Yeah.
But, yeah, he was just, I think his dad was the same way, and his dad had a temper as well. And his dad was never there, never around.
Oh, okay.
And
So maybe he had so he had like learned behavior coupled with maybe some benign neglect.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I think it's just so fascinating. I mean, they say that hurt people, right? So
yeah,
I just wonder what makes people so dysfunctional like that. Like, why the anger? Like, where is that coming from? So that must have been really difficult for you to grow up with, though, and your mom. So she was, so was she just trying to manage your dad and protect you guys?
I think she was just trying to get through.
Yeah.
I don't think she really kind of realized what she signed up for. You know, like also the dynamics in their relationship. Like my dad was the breadwinner.
What did he do professionally?
Oh my God, I don't even know. Like, I don't know how to answer this question. I think, okay,
Like a business guy?
I know he played hockey, and then
Professional hockey?
yeah, and then I guess that didn't kind of work out. Yeah, I mean everyone in Canada plays hockey.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. And then I remember him and my mom would like flip houses. So they would like buy houses, restore them, and then flip them.
Very cool.
Yeah, when they were together. And then I think like I want to say like sales, like lumber sales or something like that.
Like construction sales guy.
Yeah. Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your mom was a stay-at-home mom?
No, my mom worked at a grocery store. She still does. It's called Save On Foods, and she's been there for like forever.
Wow.
And then we grew up with nannies.
Oh, like babysitters and stuff?
No, we had like a live-in nanny.
A live-in nanny. Oh, that's kind of high end. Is that a common thing?
I don't know. I think like I know a lot of my friends had it. Like
really
had nannies. Yeah.
Oh.
Just kind of like what happened.
Okay. Yeah, that was not happening at my house.
Okay. Yeah, you got an extra room in your house? Just get a nanny.
Put a nanny in there. Yeah. That seems reasonable.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so now so you grew up with this angry dad, so that had to do wonders on your self-esteem, and it sounds like it already kind of fostered that like needing to take responsibility at such a young age, which is interesting because drinking is about a lot of the times losing control, right? It's like the opposite.
Yeah.
How old were you when you started drinking or using?
So I would say like high school. I didn't think it was like a huge problem, but like looking back at it, like, yeah, it was weird. Like 17.
That seems kind of normal. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's not normal when you're like downing 4-liter coolers. Like we had these like huge 4-liter like growers. I don't know, some like raspberry shit. Oh, it was horrible.
Oh my God.
But you just like grinned and bared it until you got,
just powered through.
You got out of yourself. Yeah. Got out of your body. So you could wear that cute little mini skirt. And like, I was always getting into nightclubs when I was not of age.
Wow.
And I would go to nightclubs when I was like in high school on a Thursday. And my mom would drive us there.
Are you serious? She wanted to be the cool mom?
I guess so. Or just like didn't want us to walk because we would get there regardless. I'm like,
oh, she didn't feel like
that's how much power I had
over your mom,
over my situation. Like I was just like, I'm doing this, and if you're not on board, cool, I will go and I will find someone.
I don't need you.
Yeah.
Not scared of mom.
Like very independent, like almost scarily independent, like just a little overboard on the independence.
Yeah, so young. Yeah,
like so young. And I was the strong one, I was the independent one, I was the leader, I was the one in charge.
Mm-hmm. Well, it doesn't sound like you had anybody that you could trust. to be
No.
in charge so that you could be a kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
There was no such thing.
No such thing. Oh, that's a
Yeah.
that's a rough childhood in a lot of ways. Okay, so you
Yeah.
start drinking, but you are in charge and you're going to the nightclubs and
Oh yeah.
listen, that sounds like a blast. Is that where you kind of fell in love with being a DJ and music and the whole scene?
No. Like not at all. I was literally just there to get drunk and like make out with my girlfriends.
Make out with your girlfriends?
Yeah, like I was a creep.
I was a creep.
I was a full-on creep. I didn't even get into like, I mean, I guess I got into like a little bit of DJing when I was like in my early 20s, because I went through a bad breakup and I'm like, I gotta find some way to kind of get out of Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to hair school.
I'm sorry, tell me about your breakup a little bit.
Oh, it was like
a pivotal age.
Yeah, I was like, again, always lying about my age. I was at a nightclub when I shouldn't have been. And I was 18 years old and I met this girl. I didn't know that there was like lesbian clubs, like, or lesbian nights. I thought it was just like, I had no idea about this lifestyle. I thought it was like a cute little fictional thing that you did. And then you like grew out of it and got a husband.
You thought it was a phase? It's just a phase.
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone said it was just a phase and everyone described this thing as just a phase. So I'm like, okay, cool. And we even had like lesbian neighbors. And I used to be like, okay, like that looks really fun. Like you guys are having a lot of fun together and like you have like really cool stuff in your house and like this is cool. But when is this gonna like when is this gonna expire? Yeah, when are you guys gonna like go get married
to a boy?
Yeah. Like how is
when does this end? I'm confused.
Yeah. Like when is this vacation over for you ladies? So yeah, I never really understood it. And then my friend and I, it's always on Halloween. I always get into a lot of trouble on Halloween.
That's because everyone's dressed like a skank.
Yes. I don't even need to dress like a skank to get into situations. I just needed to drink.
Mm-hmm.
So my friend and I, we went out to some club in Vancouver and I was 18 years old and turns out that night on Halloween, it was a lesbian night, whatever that is. And we walk in and my friend's like, ew, gross. There's like a lot of girls here. And I'm like, ooh, yeah, there's a lot of girls here. Bye.
Bye.
And so they left. And like my friends left and I stayed and I ended up hooking up with this girl and yada, yada, yada. 2 years later, we're like in this full on living together. Yeah. And I was only like 18 to 20 years old. I moved out. We lived together. Had a dog, of course, because every lesbian has to have a dog.
So that was your first serious relationship?
First relationship ever.
Wow.
Yeah. With a guy or a girl. So that was interesting. And then
surprise.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. So then she ended up cheating on me with one of our friends.
Oh.
And I literally thought I was going to die. Like I remember my mom coming and like helping me pick up my stuff. I had to move back in with my mom because I was like 20 years old. Right. And my brother was like obsessed with James Blunt at the time. And you know that freaking song?
Oh no.
Goodbye, Beautiful. My Lover.
Oh my God.
Dead.
Makes you want to slit your wrist, doesn't it?
Literally dead. I remember in the back of my mom's car being like, this is it? Goodbye. Good day.
Yeah.
And I honestly thought like, I am never going to get over this. Like I trusted this person like completely and fully. Like, what? How could this happen? How could this ever happen? I never saw it coming.
Didn't see it coming.
I had no clue. I was completely blindsided, and I'm just like, that's it. It's over. Like,
Oh,
I am never, ever going to fall in love again.
that was like the first, it sounds like it may have been the first time you ever really trusted anybody.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Completely.
man.
Like, we were like a team. I didn't know what it was like to have someone like on my side.
Oh,
Yeah. So, yeah, it was brutal. However, they are still together and they have like a kid and whatever. So, like, congratulations.
this is very big of you.
Yeah. So I guess they really liked each other.
Yeah.
Great.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Kudos.
Yeah. I'm so glad you're happy in your life.
As long as you're not bitter.
But like looking at it, like, okay, if I continued that relationship, like I would have never moved to LA.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was so young. I was I was a baby. I was 18
You're
years old.
Yeah.
Like, I must have been a nightmare.
I mean, shoot, even at 20, you're a baby, right?
Oh my God. Even at 30, I'm a baby.
How old are you? Are you 30 now?
I'm 34.
Hey, don't say it with shame, girl. I'm 50.
You're 50?
I am. I just
got
turned
that.
50. It's a little bit of both
shit.
sides. Yeah, you can, we're doing this on Zoom so you can see me, but,
oh my God, I love it.
So we age well.
Oh yeah, you do.
But
that's
thank
amazing.
you.
Yeah.
My new best friend.
That's amazing. I mean, I'm not whatever. It's just like 34, it just sounds like a annoying number.
It's significant. It's not insignificant. You know what I mean? But I totally see what you're saying though with it's almost like, thank God that happened because look where you are now and you love where you are now. And this is really amazing.
Oh my gosh, totally.
Can you just tell me a little bit? I do want to talk about your book and some solutions and stuff like that. I have to know about your 10 years of DJ experience. That must have been so much fun.
Yeah. It was totally fun. I loved it. It's funny in hindsight, like, I don't think I loved it as I actually convinced myself into like loving it. Like, I loved certain aspects of it. Like, I love performing. I love like, being there, being the center of attention, having that control.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm just playing like music. Like, I did produce some music, but nothing like great. And I'm like, I'm just playing like someone else's music. And like, what? This is it? Like, I don't want to be known for this. Like, this is not, it's an interesting medium. Yes, it's fun. It's cool. But that's not what I wanted to be known for. Like, I want to have a voice. I want people to know that I don't know. I want to like to help people.
Yeah. To do something that has a lasting impact and meaning and has purpose and
totally.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun. It's like a great, like, it was fun while it was fun, I guess.
Yeah.
And then it like, oh my God, like I became like really bitter about it. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm only staying between this time and this time. And if I have to play one more song, I am charging this and this. Like, it was just like, dude, you don't love this. Like, get out of it.
Yeah.
If it's just about the money, run. Like, get the hell out of it.
Right.
You're never going to be happy if it's just about the money.
Right. Yeah.
And it was.
It became just about the money after a while.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Well, let's get back to the drinking and part of it. So do you consider yourself an alcoholic, or did you have drug issues, or can you walk me through that part?
I guess, yeah, I would consider myself an alcoholic. I
mean, there's like the new terminology of alcohol use disorder or substance use disorder, which I think kind of has a broader span right? It's
Yeah.
a looser definition that more people can kind of fit under. But there is that idea that it was like, it's fun at first, and then that there's problems, and then
Yeah.
it's just nothing but problems. Like everything evolves, even,
Yeah.
some kind of use disorder.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think I would just say I'm a plain old fashioned like alcoholic.
Were
Like
drugs a part of
I
your
love my wine. Yeah, I loved cocaine.
Who doesn't?
Yes. But I would never just do cocaine. Like it was always like a double feature. So, and you kind of need one to even out the other. So you need, you can keep on drinking and keep on going.
They do kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, it was like a perfect little like marriage, a little combination. You drink and then you have a line and sober up and you keep on drinking.
Keep on going. So when did it become a problem? Did something happen? Like you didn't get arrested or anything like that?
No.
When did you decide? Did you like get to a place of darkness or sadness where you were like, this is a problem and I have to stop?
Honestly, it was all a problem. It was all like, I was going in and out of AA and doing like that 12-step jig for like 10 years. Like since I kind of came to LA, I always felt just very lost and didn't kind of know where I fit in. Always kind of trying to be this different person, wearing these different masks, like being this DJ person. And then like, oh, well, I'm gay too. So like, what does that look like? And then, but I'm DJing, so I need to look like sexy so people will book me, but I can't look too gay to get like the DJ gig. Like it was like this weird vicious cycle. It's like, okay, but then I ended up not being gay enough for the gay people. So I'm like, oh my God.
Not like, gay enough.
Yeah. Like what is this? Like, what is this racket? Like, I just didn't, I don't know. I couldn't conform to these labels that I kind of, or characters that I've created for myself.
Characters. That's a really the perfect way to put that. We play characters.
Totally.
But the whole time you couldn't be yourself, but were you even clear about who that was yet?
No, like not even close. Like I wouldn't even let myself get close, because every time that I would kind of even sit with myself, I would be just so pissed at where I'm at. Like I would just be so upset. Like this is not what I want. Like this is not who I am. So let's just, kind of keep on drinking or keep the party going so we don't have to figure out why.
Yeah.
I was in relationships like I had no business being in, like at all. Right. I dated very old people, like much older than myself. Like when I was like 23, I was dating someone who was 50.
Oh, 23.
Yeah.
Wow, score for that person.
Kinda.
And a DJ at that.
But kind of not, because like
did you ever date men?
No.
Okay.
Just
when I hear people say pronouns, I get confused. I'm like, is that where we wish, is it a man or the woman? Because I have friends who have had both.
No, I didn't really like date men, just kind of like hung out with them, but I never really like was interested in having a relationship with them.
Okay.
I'm kind of like, okay, you can go now.
You're all ew.
Thank you. Thanks, sir. Good day.
Goodbye.
Because I like the challenge, and it's like being with a woman is like being with a cat. You never know what the hell's gonna happen. It's very unpredictable.
And I kind of like that shit, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't come easy.
That is so funny.
So I was like in these relationships with like hoping people would kind of save me.
Oh.
Like being with older people that would kind of like, oh, maybe they can like save me, or maybe they can like bring something out in me that I can't bring forth in myself.
Oh.
But that doesn't happen because no 50-year-old should really be dating a 23-year-old nutcase. It's just, it is what it is, regardless of age. Like, I was still wild, like out of control. And anyone who would be attracted to that is also wild and out of control in their own way.
I agree.
Yeah.
When did you realize that you were hoping that somebody would save you? Was that like a revelation that you kind of...
Yeah, last week. I
was like, oh shit.
Yeah, always learning.
Yeah, for sure.
No, like just in the last like couple of years of allowing myself to
do the self-examination,
figure out who I am and what I'm doing and why am I doing this?
Why am I doing this? That is the question.
And why am I attracted to this person? Like, what am I looking for? What do I want?
Yeah. Who am I really? Yeah. Those are all the major questions. And it's so interesting. It's like in the beginning of sobriety, that's when all the questions come out. But I'm so curious, if I could just backtrack 1 second. You said you were in and out of AA for 10 years and you did the steps and stuff like that. Well,
kind of did the steps.
Oh, you kind of. So, listen, I advocate for AA, but I apply multiple modalities of healing to my life. Yeah. Right. Many, many different things. AA is how I found recovery, and I still practice it a lot. It's convenient for me. It's part of my community and all that stuff. But I'm always interested to hear, why it didn't work out for someone and then what they did instead.
Yeah. I think why it didn't really work out for me is because I didn't feel good, like leaving those meetings.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you go to gay? Are there's like the gay AA meetings? Did you try those?
Yes. So I went to like mixed meetings. I went to a lot of women's meetings, and I just didn't feel great leaving those meetings. I always felt like people were there to commiserate, and talk about the past. Everything was in the past, and I'm not that kind of person. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, it happened. But like, what are we doing today? Okay. What are we doing tomorrow? Like, how are we advancing? How are we getting past? Like, tell me something good. Like, fucking give me some motivation, dude. Like,
tell me there is
sun. Yeah, there is a sun on the horizon. Like, let me know.
That shit gets depressing.
Yeah. So I'm just like, and I'm a very sensitive person, and I'm just like, I can't even go to like group meditation stuff and like breathwork classes. For freaking get about it. Like, not happening. I cannot meditate in a group. I can't do any of that kind of stuff in a group setting because it just doesn't work for me.
Are you too concerned about how they're like, you're a caretaker, or caregiver, sorry, not care. I don't know what the difference is anyway, but you're sensitive to the people around you and how they're feeling. Does it distract from you being able to focus on yourself?
Yeah. And I can kind of like feel
other people's energy.
People like around me. Yeah. And then like, even like hearing them like breathe and stuff, I'm just like, nope. It's too deep. I mean, like happening. For me, meditations are a very personal thing.
Yeah.
And, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great idea. Trust me, I've tried many times, many classes. Actually, the only thing I can really do is like sound baths, because those are different. And
I don't know what that is. What is that? A sound bath? Tell me what a sound bath is.
Yeah.
I've been sober this long. I don't know what a sound bath is.
Oh my God, it's amazing. So basically, I mean, the ones that I go to, there is a guy, and he has like, all these crystal bowls, and every bowl is attuned to your different chakras. So there's like 7 bowls. Okay. And then he also uses gongs, and like one is tuned. What is it? One is tuned to north and one to south, like I guess the polar things. But basically I kind of describe it as like what it would sound like floating through space.
Whoa.
So it's like this really, it's really, really cool. And like,
and it's just you and him?
No, it's in a group.
Oh, it is a group. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like that's the only group thing I can kind of go to.
Yeah.
And it's also like live, like these bowls are being played live, and I feel like that is a different kind of like sensation in itself. But like there's other things, and it's very like the sound basically like encapsulates you. Like it's just very moving, and it's very powerful.
I'm gonna have to come to LA. They don't have that shit in Idaho, I don't think.
Oh, I think they might. I mean, with all the LA people that are
LA people moving out there.
Moving out there. Yeah, man.
That's very exciting.
It's like the new LA.
The new LA. I'm excited to hear that because I need some girls who carry Louis.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think you'll definitely find it.
All right. So sound bath. I'm totally gonna have to check that out. And so that you leave there feeling like with peace and kind of filled up and recharged and motivated.
Like literally just like it was like tuning a piano, basically. Like I just felt like all tuned and aligned and just like
ready to face the world.
Yeah.
I love that.
Or go to sleep.
Or go night.
Yeah.
A good nap cures a lot of things.
I'm a huge napper.
Oh my God. Yes. I'm making up for lost time, I think. I did not nap a lot. Okay. So you are in and out of AA. It must plant some seeds. Where are you with the God thing? Do you have a higher power? Did you grow up with religion? Where are you with that?
I didn't grow up with religion. Like didn't even set foot into a church until I was like mid-20s. But no, I definitely believe in a higher power, like something greater than us. I definitely subscribe to that.
Okay.
Because that's the only other answer to how shit has happened in my life.
And can you tell me?
The only other.
Can you tell me a story about that? Is there something that comes to mind where you're just like, that was God?
There's just everything, like any little thing, like they happen daily. Like even, I don't know, like even down to, okay, I was driving last year and my check engine light came on in my car. And coincidentally, like I had to go get a smog test. So I'm like, oh, that's annoying. And I literally looked down and I'm like, can you just please go away so I can like get this smog test done? And then I can like renew my registration shit. And like literally I'm like, oh God, wouldn't that be so good? And then literally 5 minutes later, I look down, gone. I fucking drove over to a smog place. Bibbity bobbity boop. Done. Like it's little things like that. Like what? Like how does that even happen? You know? Like
yeah.
Okay, like that's come on, that's pure magic.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen every day. And I think it's like just little things like that.
Well, I think it's so interesting that you say that because when I grew up in the church and I grew up with ideas like God could part a sea or burning bush or, some big show of God, like I am God. Yeah. And it's like, God, I wonder why God doesn't do that now. But then I get sober and I sort of align with the spiritual path. I had to throw out the idea of religion, like organized religion, for a while because me and God broke up. But
okay.
But then I get sober and I'm on the spiritual path. And then I start to see things happen on like a small but really deep personal level.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, that's God, and for me, like God works through people. So like my sister calls them coincidences, like when something like so serendipity happens and it's like, whoa, it's
totally
like I subscribe to the God of evidence type of thing.
Yeah.
So it sounds like that's what you're talking about too.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's like, and just having, gratitude and being able to like appreciate that
Yeah.
Like all these little things, like, cool. Right on. It's because it's so easy, right, to just be like, oh, nothing's going my way. Like, this didn't happen. This didn't happen. It's like, yeah, but dude, like, look at all the stuff that is happening.
That is happening.
Like, chill out.
Yeah.
Gain some perspective here and like focus on what is happening. Do you have a house? Do you have a roof over your head?
Yeah.
Cool. Do you have a little bit of money in your bank account? Cool. Do you have food in your fridge? Awesome. You right there, you're way better off than like 98% of Americans.
Yeah. Yeah. Or the world.
Yeah.
I mean, think about all the moms in Syria who are living on the street with their kids. It's like, yeah, we are so blessed. And I heard somebody talking about, there's like 1,000 things that go right during the day. Like you can actually get in your car and back out your driveway and mission accomplished. It's like, that's a thing. Like that went right.
Or the fact that you even have a freaking car.
I know, right?
Come on.
Registration and a smog check.
Well,
miracles.
Not right now, but yeah. Literally, yeah. So
yeah, things are good. Well, so what were the modalities that you used to overcome this issue with drinking?
Yeah. So I kind of set out and I'm like, okay, what do I want my life to look like? Like, how do I want to feel in my life? How do I want to move through the world? Like, what kind of impact do I want to have? What kind of conversations do I want to have? And especially like with myself, what kind of conversations? And so I kind of boiled it down. I was like thinking, I'm like, okay, like what do I need? Like at the end of the day, what do I need? What do I need? What do I need? Like what is the foundation here? What is the framework for setting me up? And I was just kind of looking at it like for a perfect day or a good day. Like what is the framework that I need to build out a good day? And so it started there and I was like, okay, number one, your body. So diet and exercise are a must. They are not a luxury. Number two, your mind. What are you allowing into your mind? What are all the outside, situations that you are allowing to affect your headspace? And also like, what thoughts are you cultivating? What's going on in your mind? Like, what are you talking about? What's that inner voice saying? So harnessing your mind. And then number 3 was connection. And first and foremost, connection to yourself. Whoa. That is huge. I mean, that right there solves so many issues, issues. And it's so hard to connect to yourself because especially as women, we're kind of taught to look after everyone else and, and
don't feel what you feel, be a nice girl, take care of others.
Yeah. What is everyone else thinking, like doing, saying, like, no, like screw that.
Yeah.
Connect with yourself first.
Okay.
I think that is your like number one purpose in life is to figure out shit that you like to do. Yeah. And it's the hardest question to answer. Yeah. Like after all is said and done, all of the stuff is checked off your to-do list. The kids are in bed, everyone's fed, bills are paid. What do you do for yourself? What brings you joy that no one else benefits off of, but what do you enjoy doing for yourself?
That no one else does. I love that.
Yeah. So connecting with yourself and then that allowing you to connect with others, friends, family, loved ones, and then a connection to a higher power. So knowing that you are not the end all be all, that this world is bigger than you, darling, but,
sweet love.
Yeah. So there is something bigger out there. And that's comforting because it's not all on you. It's not all about you.
Right. Absolutely.
Release that. And then the last one is your productivity. So how are you expanding your life? How are you growing? How are you moving forward in your life? How are you being productive? How are you being productive in your relationships? How are you being productive? A lot of that pertains to people in their career, money. We need it. Straight up. I'm not going to beat around the bush. We need money.
I have no shame around making money.
Yeah.
Zero.
So
money is neutral, money is neutral. It's how we use it that matters. It's energy, really.
Yeah, totally. So and there's a certain amount of money that you need to have all those needs met. And
to be a value to somebody else. Like money, you can be of service to somebody else with money.
Yep. Yeah, totally. So
did we just go over your 4 commitments, or is that something else?
Yeah, those are my 4 commitments.
Sweet.
That's it. I mean, this is no bullshit. Like, I lived it, learned it, love it. Like, this is what happened.
I love this. This is it. I mean,
it's not hard. It's very simple. I mean, it's not like crazy new age stuff. Like, I'm not asking you to go out on your balcony and get naked and pray to the wolves. Like, this is very stuff practical. Like they're not steps. Like, this is literally, it's a circle.
Yeah.
Like every commitment helps the next and vice versa. It's like, I like to say it's like a chair. Okay. All the 4 legs of a chair.
Yeah.
If one of those legs are a little bit wobbly, it's really annoying to sit on that chair.
Yeah.
And it's really, it's not safe because you're wobbling around. You're like, oh, is this the day that the leg's going to break off?
That you're out of balance. Yeah.
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 So being sturdy and maintaining those 4 commitments.
Okay.
Dude, leads for a great day. And you can go through and check, sometimes I do it by the hour. I'm like, okay, where am I at here? Like, why am I in a pissy mood right now?
Mm-hmm.
And I can go through. I'm like, okay, did I exercise today? No. What did I have for breakfast? I had a piece of pizza. Like, come on, Jessica. Like, get
it together, woman.
Yeah. And you wonder why you're a little baby? Why are you in a little tiff? Yeah. So, it's easy to kind of like redirect yourself and get yourself back on course.
Can I tell you why I think this is genius? Is because this is about action.
Yes.
These are actions. And I think so often we want to be judged by our intentions, not our actions, right? Mm-hmm. And I kind of fell into the trap of wanting to think my way into right living, right? Like, I lived at the self-help section of Barnes & Noble, and I thought if I could read enough books, if I could get the answer, the secret, the 7 steps, the 4, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, the secret to abs. And there was like some secret or some piece of knowledge that was missing. Because there is, like what you were saying earlier, get perspective, right? So there is some knowledge that's important, and you cover that obviously in step 2. But what you're talking about it's like we live our way into right thinking. And so and this is very practical. The other reason I totally love it, but it's about what actions are you actually taking and, practicing them in a habitual way that will, because we're always living in the residual of yesterday's choices. So all the choices that I made, this is where I'm at today. I chose to live in this house. I chose to buy these clothes. That's all. So, but I don't know. These are amazing. And this is all in the book. Save Your Own Damn Self.
Yes. Save your own damn life.
Save your own damn life.
Yeah. And like you said, I am a huge fan of action. I think talk is cheap. And I did the same thing. I read every goddamn book praying that something would just magically appear, like just sage it away. Like, no, no, it doesn't work. Like, especially today,
to take some action.
Yeah. Like, our emotional intelligence is so, has come so far.
Yeah.
Yet people aren't applying it. They're not putting action to the knowledge that we have here.
Action to the knowledge. Yeah. I have it on my laptop, actually. So knowledge isn't power. Action is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, this book, that's why I said, I'm like, this is literally going to be the only self-help. It's it's a do-it-yourself self-help book.
Yeah.
Because I literally give you the framework, but what makes it unique to everyone is like, you fill in the pieces.
Yeah.
You're there doing the work and you're answering the questions. And that's how it becomes custom and tailored to you, because you have these actions to do.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if you're like, recovering from drugs or alcohol, or,
Abuse,
depression, or
cancer, or
right. Any kind of place. That's why I called it Save Your Own Damn Life.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
you can.
And we're the ones who have to take the action.
Yeah.
We're the ones who have to make the commitment to do the work. And, but you also have a community, which I think is super important, right? Like, it's so important. Like, that's one of our basic human needs, is we all need community, and with other like-minded people. So that's it. That's the whole enchilada right there. I love that.
Yeah. I mean, this is no BS. Like, I have lived it. This is the stuff that works.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and at the end of the day, like, I kept kind of like coming back just to these 4 things. I'm like, okay, if like these are all in place, I'm good. And like, I'm beyond good. Like, I'm golden.
Yeah. With the higher power and the whole thing. And now you have dedicated your life. I have such a soft spot in my heart for people who dedicate their lives to helping others. And it's like, you have dedicated your 100% of your attention to carrying these messages to the world, which I think is super important. So I absolutely support you in that. And we started the conversation today about, your Instagram is just on point. I look, when you look at it at your phone, you see all those squares, and it's like all this cohesive theme, and it's all bright and shiny. And, but when you were talking about how you decided to take a risk, was that just yesterday you took a risk?
Yes.
Girl, let's go there. Because
because
Brene Brown, that you like took a risk and you kind of got your ass kicked, but let's talk about it a little bit. So what did you do?
I mean, anyone who follows the account.
Your face is a little red, by the way.
Oh my God. It's kind of funny. I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, it's kind of funny. So I'm pretty like bubbly, light, like to keep it upbeat, positive. Never really too serious, even if I'm kind of like discussing some serious issues. Yesterday was none of the above. I
went a little outside the box.
Yeah, I stepped way outside the box, and I decided to talk about my experience with abortion, because you know what?
Because why not?
If you're gonna go big,
go big.
Why not go big with abortion?
Yeah,
because that's a pretty neutral topic.
Right?
Nobody's
gonna get triggered around that.
Yeah, said no one ever. So yeah, all these kind of like laws are passing, and states are making abortion illegal.
So scary.
And I think that's not a great choice. I think it is not cool to limit women's choices and basically take away their rights, and to put these parameters around a woman's body. Yeah. I think that's insane. I think it's ridiculous. Yeah. So I basically just did a little vid about my experience with abortion. And I had one when I was 28 because I was blackout drunk and had a little yada yada. And I was in absolutely no position to take care of myself, let alone someone else. And it was just not an option. And I was very, very grateful that I had that opportunity and I had that option available to me at that time.
Yeah.
And I think that's what life is all about. Yeah, I made a shitty choice to drink. I was at the peak of my drinking career. Absolutely. I take full responsibility for that. I also take responsibility for my choice to go and get an abortion, because I felt that was the right choice for me, my family, and for that, for what was going to happen. So, and to not have those choices available, I think is really scary.
It is very scary. Yeah. My mother-in-law was a nurse for 40 years. And we had a discussion, and listen, I'm not pro-abortion. I am
Mm-hmm.
pro-choice. I would never, I would encourage somebody to explore the options, but she talked about how women today don't know what it's like to not have that choice. And she grew up in a time where back alley abortions resulted in death.
Yes.
And meanwhile, and there's a little bit of justice. What do they call that? I'm not going to come up with the right word, but it's like this advocate for justice where it's like, where are the men in all this? It's like, we're going to make abortion illegal. We should make vasectomy mandatory.
Totally.
If you have an exchange with a woman that ends up in pregnancy and she has to have an abortion, he should have to have a vasectomy. Like,
yeah.
Why are we completely ignoring that there are two people involved in this, right?
Well, it just goes to show, like, we are literally putting the blame on the women.
Yeah. I mean, it is an awesome responsibility
and now you're gonna,
that we have to care for, but people make mistakes, right? But two people made the mistake, not just one person.
Right. But like, you're also going to judge me for, making a choice. Like, I don't know. The video wasn't to persuade anyone like this way or that way. I was just sharing my own experience. Most of the comments and reaction I got were actually very sweet. Even like a couple of guys reached out and were like, you know what, me and my ex-girlfriend were at the same situation, and we were, I wasn't in recovery yet, and it was a nightmare. Like, I can't even imagine going through and subjecting that person to that.
Right.
So, and like, it's all about choices. That's all I can say.
Yeah. But you got some negative backlash, obviously.
A little bit.
So tell me what that was like.
A little bit. I won't go like really into it, but I got called a murderer. So
Ouch.
that was a little bit harsh. Yeah.
Super painful.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, like, if you watch the video, I am not trying to convince you or, I don't know, even like justify my actions. I was literally just talking about my experiences and how I was very grateful to be able to have that choice.
Yeah.
Because I literally would not have the life I was living. Right now. I would not, like, there's no way. Like, it would just,
yeah. Well, that, I got to tell you, it's a very brave thing to do, to take a stand and share your opinion. And the people who love you will double down and love you even more. And the people who are, not going to support you anyway, they tend to go away. And it's important to know who your people are. So I congratulate you for being brave. Like, no matter what your opinion is, to take a stand in what you believe in and be open to making sure that you don't have like that. There's this idea of confirmation bias, right? Where you just take a stand on a belief that you haven't really examined, because we can all look for the evidence to support whatever argument, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's important to just be open to, be open-minded, right? That's one of the things that we talk about in recovery a lot, is being open to new ideas. So I just want to applaud you. Brene Brown is, she does all that, talk about vulnerability and daring greatly. And, it's the people who are daring greatly that deserve the credit, not the critics who stand on the sidelines criticizing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And thank you for saying that, because honestly, like, I didn't sleep last night, and I was like, you know what, should I just delete it? And like, a friend of mine was like, well, yeah, if you want more followers, like, you should delete it. And I'm like,
I disagree. I think just the opposite.
Yeah. I'm like, wait, at the end of the day, like, I'm going to delete this because I'm going to get more followers, or like, what? Yeah. No.
That is not the goal.
Yeah, no. It's not the goal at all. I mean, literally, I honestly didn't have a goal in hindsight. Like, putting it out there, I'm just kind of like, I just felt really moved because I saw Busy Phillips mention something on her show, and I saw a little video clip. I'm like, oh my God, like, yeah, like, we totally need to talk about this. Like,
yeah.
that's like, it's really sad. And she even said like 1 in 4 women before the age of 45 will have an abortion.
Wow. 1 in 4?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that just before the age of 45 too.
Oh, some have it after 45.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow, that's a pretty big statistic.
Yeah.
And nobody's talking about it.
Nope.
Yeah, but we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's important that people, and listen, even if the people who come from like that religious standpoint, it's like,
Right.
sins are to be forgiven, let's not, and listen, we don't know how I feel like God can make anything right. Like anything that I perceive as a painful situation that happens, I hate to call them a mistake. I feel like there are no mistakes, there are only lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And we learn, lessons are repeated until they're learned, type of thing. And, but something valuable comes out. And if it happened, God either is or he isn't. And so he can make whatever situation something positive. He can turn anything into a positive. So,
yeah.
There you have it. There's my soapbox for the day.
Right on.
I really appreciate your willingness to talk about that. When I reached out to you, you're like, I'm an open book, and here you are.
Literally
sharing it all.
Yes.
So where can
secrets.
people I'm excited about your book. Where can people find your book?
So it's just getting wrapped up right now.
Oh,
it's not out yet, but it will be out on Amazon. That is where it will be, and I will have that on the website. I'm sure you will see it on social media. It's like, it's going to be.
Do you have
like
a date? Do you have a launch date?
Nope.
Okay, well,
I probably should get into that.
Do you have a pre-order thing on your website, or just directing people to your website so they can sign up for your email or something?
Honestly, you're the first person I'm even talking to about it, because like it's done.
Okay.
I just haven't pulled the trigger on a launch date, and well, so I'm waiting for a couple little things to fall into place. There also will be an online course to go with the book too.
Ooh, nice.
Which is insane. It is so good. It is so good, and I'm so excited about it. The book is so freaking funny. I was just reading a little bit about I was reading my own book last night.
I was reading my own book. It's hilarious.
It was so fun, and I'm like, this is so true. I'm like, this girl is smart, and I'm like, it's me. It's funny. It's just, I'm just a total goof. But no, I'm really excited, and I'm just kind of waiting for a couple little pieces
just
to
get organized. That's
you get in there.
You just let me know when that's happening. We'll definitely share that. I'll put it in the newsletter and everything. And
thank you.
Yeah, I'll encourage you to get a a newsletter, get an email. People can put their emails into a list or something, like a pre-order list or something like that. That would be awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I just want to wait for these little T's to be crossed.
Yes.
And then watch out. Be careful what you wish for. It's coming.
Listen,
it's coming in hot, baby.
To support you. So you just
you.
let me know, and
it's very sweet.
Maybe we can do a little webinar or something, and go over your course. We'll do a little course launch or something. That'll be awesome.
Cool. Yeah, I'm down for whatever.
Well, listen, you've been very generous with your time. Please tell my listeners where they can find you, because you do some coaching stuff too. So I think that's important to mention.
Oh my God, I love coaching. Coaching is it's so fun. So first and foremost, definitely check out the website, asobergirlsguide.com. We have a really great blog, which is fully stocked on all the how-tos, recovery stories, and everything in between, like celebrity recovery stuff, like literally everything. The blog is really fun. The podcast is available on iTunes and Spotify. It's A Sober Girl's Guide. Everything is the same name. I like to be consistent.
Yeah. Brilliant. Simple, easy to remember.
Yes. The podcast is really fun. Have some really interesting guests, very colorful.
Yes, I saw your list. It's so good.
Yes. And then what else? Yeah. So if you're interested in coaching, it's on the website as well. We also have like an event page. So if you're looking for sober or alcohol-free, there we go.
There you
events. There's tons of information up there. I mean, I just want to like provide everyone with all the resources and as much information as possible.
Awesome.
There's free downloads. There's like literally every little nugget you can get your hands on.
All kinds of goodies. Okay. I will definitely leave links to all of that in the show notes.
Cool.
But Jessica, I'm so grateful that you had the time to meet with me today.
Yeah.
And I so enjoyed our conversation.
Me too.
I look
you.
forward to supporting you in your future endeavors. Let me know how I can help and we'll have you back.
Thank you so much.
Okay, girl, you have a great day. Thank you.
You too.
One last thing before you go, if you enjoyed the podcast today, please don't forget to subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher and leave a review. And if you'd like to make a donation to the podcast and help me keep the lights on, you can do so by visiting odatchat.com. There's a donation button or membership button on the right-hand side. Have a great day. Thank you so much for joining us.